traders, this is Kevin Vinny coming to you from Day Trading Radio with a quick review of gold stocks and my thoughts on same on Wednesday, June the 8th, 2011, which happens to be my 1-year-old's birthday today. We had a good time. I stayed out of the markets for the most part and took profits on RIM, puts, and NEM, Newmont Mining, at the open in the first 15 minutes. Took the rest of the day off. Looks like I didn't miss anything. It was a nice move lower. Okay. So with free stock charts, you can sort by the predetermined sorts they have here of stocks that are grouped by similarities with quite a few different groups of stocks to choose from. Okay, the reason why I'm looking at gold stocks right now is because of Newmont and Randgold and a couple other commodity plays that we took short. I took puts. I believe Big Wave Rider took a common short. So I'm just going to go through this in rapid fire fashion. You can see that gold stocks are fairly weak. Got a little bounce here on ABX, but once I go through this list, you'll start to see a pattern emerge that we're trading lower. We have oversold stochastics moving lower, where you can scalp maybe, or swing, short swing, a couple of points at some of these stocks. Okay, AEM looks good for a point here or better. I would probably be trading the 63s or 62 puts. LA Nevada looks interesting in that we have head and shoulders pattern here. Notice that the lower high shows up on quite a few stocks in this group, where you have a lower high, okay, and you have overbought stochastics, so you have a divergence there. Just noting that. Anglo Gold looks like if it loses this area here, got a little bounce today, but if it loses this area, it could move lower. Seasonally, sometimes gold stocks do tend to move lower during the summertime. Notice that Yamana Gold lost to 200, and it closed below same, with stochastics still moving lower. So we could get a further move down on Yamana, depending on where you draw these pivot points, of course. So be aware of that. That was Horizon. Okay. Again, depending on where you draw the pivot points. Okay, this could be, I doubt it's that severe, but you can just keep those in mind. Okay. I'm just going to run through these until I see a pattern. You can see here GGR or CGR, where we have support here has been lost. Okay, we've got pivot points that we can draw our trend lines with, and even though this is a cheap stock, you might better short this down for another 20 cents. I'd probably stay away from this, but just notice this for a pattern. Okay, EGI, EGO to the lower trend line here. So depending on where this pivot point occurs, and that's a good point there. You could move out of, squeeze out of this one, depending on what happens. I believe NEM had oversold stochastics. No, it's not. So it's just something to keep in mind. EGO. I do like EGO though for a further move down. GFI. This one's already lost support. This could move lower. Support here. Likely. We'd have to get a quick turnaround. I would think that this is going to continue to move lower, being the dollar is moving higher. Okay, dollar is oversold. I believe this is going to move higher. Okay, it's just me. I won't take any trades based on what I'm saying. I'm just looking at these trades. okay, for possibilities. GG, this is one that Big Wave and I have been looking at, stalking. Notice the head and shoulders pattern. Notice the lower high here and the oversold stochastics, a bearish divergence. I'm watching the 150 EMA here, or MA here, before move down to 200. I may take this anyway in the morning and watch how this is handled at the 46 level, 200 EMA. And if that loses that, all bets are off. This could move lower pretty quickly. Okay, so that's GG. I'd be looking for support levels in this area here, maybe $2 lower, thereabouts. Rand gold, if you draw a trend line in between here, it's a possibility that we could have a center line, okay, that plays out. But still, you got 3 or 4 points there. Look at where the stochastics are, okay. So I'd be looking at gold tomorrow, Rand gold, for puts. That was an interesting one. If you get something like Rand gold and that pops down like it did there. GRS, these are fairly cheap, so I'm not interested in them for the most part. I want a stock that's trading in like the 30s, 40s, 50s. I'm going to trade puts. This one's actually pretty strong. Overbought though. Oh, that's interesting. This is what NEM was doing right when we bought it, and then it moved lower to the lower Bollinger Band. So it's a possibility here. Harmony. Be watching this one. It's right at support. This tends to be a stronger stock out of the group for some reason. This one has done me well on the bullish side. Okay, trading from in here previously. But I'll be watching the MAs. We have our stochastics moving lower here, so anything can happen. We could get something. Well, I'm not going to speculate. Just keep an eye on the stock. IAG. It's another one that's fairly strong, but notice stochastics is moving lower. We had some higher volume here, but doesn't mean this can't move down to the lower Bollinger Band. Jaguar. Looks like this could move lower. Kimber. Kindros. Another one of those stocks where, depending on where you draw your trend lines, okay, you can see where your channels would be. Notice stochastics has room to move momentum wise to lower Bollinger Band, maybe $1 on this one. Keegan, same thing. Midway, same thing. We're getting into overbought territory, and notice that we're not getting back up to the previous highs. This is an interesting one. Although it's already a cheap stock, forget about that. Minko Gold. Some of these I haven't heard of before. Northern Dynasty. This is probably a Chinese stock. I would stay away from Chinese stocks personally. Newmont, you can see where we banged this one out. New Wave mentioned Rand Gold, and I looked at Newmont just off the cuff and got in on this candle here. Okay, as we were dropping down below, we opened down below the 50 EMA, the 100 EMA, and the started to continue to trade down through the 20 EMA and the 8. So I stayed with this trade and made $4 on Newmont with a delta of 50 cents. That's $2 on the calls. I had 10, so you can do the math. It's $2,000. Nova Gold, same thing. We could move lower, probably 50 cents on this one. Notice where the stochastics are, and the signal line is moving lower quickly. We could get 50 cents out of this one. NSU, inverted head and shoulders, but stochastics is showing momentum to the downside. Northgate, this one was cheap. Rubicon, Rand Gold, again, we play this double top. We got in on I got in on this candle here. I think Big Wave Rider got in on the previous candle, but we still got 4 points out of this one. Okay, just look at this a little bit closer. Rand Gold looks like if we lose the 50 EMA, the blue line, which is very possible. Stochastic's moving lower. Okay, watch the weekly. If we lose this 10 EMA or 10 MA tomorrow or the next day, this thing could move lower very quickly, maybe down to the 54 level. Okay, so keep in mind that we can see further downside in Rand Gold, much like we did here from this point to this point. Okay, Richmont mines, notice they lower the again, just like GG, overbought stochastics on a lower high. Okay, could move lower. We'll see where this goes. Bollinger Bands are starting to expand. Telling you might move lower. Seabridge, wow. Notice the Bollinger Bands here. This is something you want to keep in mind when you're trading stocks to either side. When you see the Bollinger Bands move, in this case, expand like this on both the top and the bottom, it's telling you you're going to have further weakness until this starts to flatten out and turn around and go in the other direction, like so. This is going to continue to move lower. Alright, so don't look for a move higher presently until the Bollinger Bands start to change their direction. Nice hammer there, right at the EMAs, or the MAs. Vista. Okay, so that's it with the gold stocks. Remember to check out your freestockcharts.com. There's a lot of work already done for you in the way of sorted groups, sectors that you can look at. In this case, Big Wave Rider told me about Rand Gold. I immediately went to my gold stock sector and looked at what was playing out. Newmont popped up on the list, so something to consider in the future. Again, this is Because of Vinny coming to you from Day Trading Radio, where you can take the 2-week free trial and meet traders like myself and others in the room and perhaps make some money. Take care and have a nice day. Remember to take profits.